Welcome back, Smite fans. Yesterday, we saw Elevate win the Gauntlet, but today, it's all about the EU boys figure out who's going to go to Gauntlet.
Yeah, we've got 3 teams competing. MCDZ is the Challenger Cup team. Of course, they're going to be facing off against Excellence up first, and then that winner will move on to Excel. We have a couple roster changes, though, so it's going to be an interesting gauntlet, to say the least.
Gauntlet Apocalypse does not stop at SPL. SCL still gets it to Predators. From Excellence, going to be moving back into the solo lane. Welshbeastq moving from Excel, the team that, if they win, will be facing, over to Excellence for the ADC role, and Farleez moving from ADC to the jungler role.
A lot of switch-ups here. I'm excited to see what MCDZ can do, you know, kind of 5 unknown players relatively. Obviously, going up through Face It to make sure to make it into the Gauntlet, but should be some exciting matchups here. I mean, honestly, that's the thing about the Gauntlet is, any given Sunday, it doesn't matter, you know, how you performed throughout the online stages in the past month or two. All that matters is how you play today to potentially qualify for the SEL Fall Finals.
Exactly, and whatever you can hodgepodge together roster-wise, as long as it works, you get there, and then you're going to find yourself at the Fall Finals. So it all comes down to today: Excellence versus MCDZ. I'm going to call them McD's.
McD's. I mean, they're basically, you know, they're basically McD's.
Yeah.
They're McDonald's. They're actually stealing their name. They're probably going to get sued tomorrow.
Do you think we're going to see some McDouble kills?
How much have you prepared for this match?
I had about 5 minutes when I realized that we could make McDonald's puns.
We've got way too many lined up, I bet.
No, we're good. No, I'm controlling myself.
For now. For now. I don't even want to know once the cast starts. I mean, heading into this one, though, picks and bans are going to be interesting. Kind of what dynamic they go. We don't really see too much overall meta. We see, you know, teams and players really switch it up. And we've started to see a shift from players really respecting, okay, I have to get this pick, into more focusing around getting a composition that works for you guys and your playstyle.
And we're going to see comfort picks today, too. So whatever you can fall back on. I expect to see some of the things we've seen from Excellence prior to, even if these roster swaps have happened. Raijin, Sun Wukong, Erlang, Shen.
Very
just
common.
normal things like that.
Nothing too crazy here. Bans for this one, I do expect an Ao to be taken out eventually, but it's actually going to be a first ban Bastet, so Excellence not really wanting to deal with cheese too much.
I'm curious if MCDZ were able to run that and just make it work for them. Ao going to be banned out, so lots of focus on the jungles early on.
Yeah, I mean, jungles really set the pace of the game, so you're going to want to take some of them out. And Excellence, I think, have done their homework here. They seem to be target banning pretty heavily. The Bastet taken away, Hades taken away as well. Not gods you typically see in the meta, you know, normally, so just focusing out those certain players.
Welshbeastq hasn't played a lot of Freya, but still pretty safe. You do not want to let Freya get ahead in any... I feel like any competent player at this level would be able to make Freya work for them, but banned out. This time we're going to see Terra locked in, first pick for Excellence.
And that's the main issue. You know, you ban out the Ao because you don't want to deal with it, but then you ban away the Freya, and that just leaves open. I talked about how people are like, okay, we'll play around team comps, but Terra right now in the meta, it is likely the most powerful pick, just puts out so much lane pressure than that global ultimate, where it's not even like Athena where you're going to move over to that lane and potentially leave open your hunter or wherever you ulted from. Terra can just make an impact regardless.
Jing, a very popular ADC. I know Welsh likes her, but it's going to get picked up by the McD's and Bacchus as well, so very aggressive starts up, knockups for days so far.
Yeah, a lot of knockups. This actually might not be bad to pair with an Awilix if you feel you can get control. You know, you've got Gust, very easy to knock players up off of. Bacchus as well, always wants to be that frontline initiator, giving Awilix kind of room to breathe in the back line, not having to find those knockups on her own, you know, able to rely on her team for that one.
Definitely, but Erlang, Shen, and Athena going to get locked in for Excellence, so taunts coming out as well. Lots of CC and sustain so far from Excellence, but not a lot of damage. McD's read your mind, picking up the Awilix before Excellence could ban it out.
I do like this pickup. It synergizes incredibly well with Jing and Bacchus, and Awilix is kind of all about early game, and I like this. You know, when you're a new team coming into the competitive scene, like McDZ's are, you know, they're the challenger team. I really like to see teams go for more early game compositions. Historically, it has worked out better for them because if you mess up with, you know, a team comp more oriented for that late game, you basically lose the game, you know, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, where teams will, you know, can get behind with an early game comp and still battle back for the mid game.
Definitely, but Scylla banned out, Vulcan banned out. I like the Scylla pick coming out from McD's because that's what I would want to see with Excellence. You have 2 taunts, you have some roots, you have some stuns. A lot of damage, and that's what Excellence are lacking right now.
Real clear synergy there. I'd like to see a ban of Isis as well from Excellence. And surprised that MCDZ banned the Raijin there. I guess a little bit worried about that, you know, the double taunt combo from Erlang and Athena, and obviously Raijin follows up really well off of that. But I think an ISIS ban is warranted here. Again, I think MCDZ's, they've got a clear, strong early game as well as, you know, mid-game teamfight potential with the double knockups into a Awilix pool. And the ISIS is just going to enable that, allowing you to get that pressure in the mid lane, rotate, maybe set up some invades as well.
I like the Odin ban, though, because you do have the sustain coming out from Terra. In that cage, that would all be negated. Plus, Erlang Shen not going to be able to get out, Terra not going to be able to get out, and Athena would have to use that ultimate to get out of the cage.
And there's a Raw, so not obviously Bacchus and Raw combine very well. The knock up into the snipes, we've seen Raw really start to creep back into the meta with all the group lands there. The only issue is Jing. Her knock up, you know, it kind of moves them towards a direction, so you're not going to be able to really synergize that. But still, I mean, there's a lot of different ult combos here. It's not even just the Awilix, you know, setting up for the Awilix. You also have these characters that can set up for the Raw.
Exactly, and it's good to not pigeonhole yourself and your whole team into focusing on one character, because we've seen that with games with Scylla where if she gets
behind, she's done.
She's gone.
Can't do much.
Boom.
And then the Agni going to be locked in. Combines very well with the Athena. You know, one taunt into bombs. Also a lot of ranged poke off of that. And then Xbalanque, just kind of like that late game monster. I like the composition Excellence has drafted, looking more towards that late game, but a lot of it's going to rely on that Agni and Xbalanque being able to get damage up.
And Welsh had a really good Xbalanque debut when he joined the SCL, so no surprise to see him locked in here as the last pick. And Ravana for the MCDZs. And
Ravana just going to be that early game pressured. MCDZs, I think, want to win this one nice, quick and easy and get on to game 2. They are the challenger here. They won the Challenger Cup, and so they're going to be running that early game focus. They're really trying to probably focus on ganking the soul lane. I'd like to see them invest into that Erlang Shen on the right-hand side.
I like the tankiness coming out from Excellence, but I'm worried about the lack of damage. They have Agni and they have Xbalanque. If they can lock either one of them down, they're not going to be able to really do anything. They're going to sustain, but that's it.
And Xbalanque is great. When you're talking 35 minutes, full build, all the passive stacks, Xbalanque is one of the hardest hitting characters in the game. Not only does he get the bonus power from his passive, but also those branching bolas giving him 50 extra damage. Also applies for crits, and that's where you start to see, you know, the big 1,000 crits. The one hunter who does bring that is Xbalanque.
I like that the whole team of Excellence went down, placed that ward at the speed camp. They're going to know exactly what Ravana and whoever passes by is going to go ahead and start off with. Team MCDZ actually starting to use that choke point right under the mid harpies instead. I kind of would have wanted to see that in the speed buff, but I mean,
they just want to be aware of kind of the rotations coming out a lot from the mid lane too. And one thing about those early wards is that Excellence just want to make sure they don't get invaded. They have Erlang Shen, and it's actually the Terra. We didn't really mention this, but the Terra is going to go solo. I thought it was going to be Erlang solo and Athena jungle, but Excellence doesn't really agree. Maybe this is just player comfortability.
Turtle's really good with Athena. That's why I have it written down over here on my paper. But Athena with the taunts, helping just build up Welshbeastq, build those passives, or build that passive stack just so he gets a little bit extra damage as the game progresses.
And again, in the solo, this is one thing, too, to think about with how they've placed their players around the map, in that as a support, the Athena, or the Terra, excuse me, you know, is going to be rotating a lot, going to be always in that 3v3, and so you won't get too much effectiveness out of that Erlang in the solo. But, you know, Terra can now just sit in this lane and farm up and still make that impact while allowing her team to still have that core in the mid lane. So it's going to be that Terra ult, going to be coming in really important, actually, for Excellence.
MCDZ on the fire rotation, taking out the right mid harpies and now focusing in on the left. Excellence only were able to get those fire imps, which, I mean, is nice, but you need a little bit more. So a nice start coming out from the boys in red.
And this is what you want from them. You know, they have this Awilix. They really need to get rolling early. I actually think their mid and late game is decent as well. Awilix does fall off significantly. Same with Robin. They don't bring that same umph they do in the early and mid games. But you have a Jing and you have a Raw, and we know how those mage ultimates can affect a fight. If Mayo can line up 3 or 4 people, that's going to be a lot of damage. Doesn't matter how tanky players are.
Definitely nice taunt into the shield wall. Just getting a little bit of bully poke, but Turtle going to take it in retaliation coming out from CRYSIS. Nice placement. Just nice placement so far. Just bullying. Every little bit counts. We're not really going to see too much kill potential early on.
No, and this is really good for the Xbalanque, who typically loses most matches in the lane. He gets kind of out-pressured, and so to be able to have that lane control and Xbalanque be able to farm up relatively easy, that's all you really want. And This team from Excellence is so scary with their globals. I talked about how the Terra's in the solo lane going to be able to make an impact, but I mean, you have to think Xbalanque and Athena as well. Any fight McDeezy's takes after level 5 is not going to be the numbers advantage you think. They could take a 3v1 and all of a sudden it's going to become a 4v3 into Excellence's favor. So they need to be very aware of those ultimate timers coming out of Excellence.
And you can also use that to your advantage, knowing when they're down, to then try to capitalize on that, because Athena not going to be able to make it from one side to the other very quickly at all. But a little bit of a 2v2. Farleez taking a lot of feather step damage and then pulled back with the ultimate. The raw snipe gonna hit it. Ayo Mayo bringing in the first blood for McDeezy.
Bam, really nice play coming out of there, and a big misplay from Farleez. He had his purification online, but elects not to use them. Either wasn't fast enough on the reaction or just didn't expect that damage. I mean, that Raw's only hit level 5. I think his ult was with a Soulstone passive maybe, because I mean, that did so much damage, and even if you're a warrior, you sometimes overestimate your tankiness in the early game, and that might have happened right there with Farleez.
Well, a little bit of early damage, the knock up, the feather step, into the pull with the gravity surge, into the ult was more than enough to take him out, but very close. McDeezy bringing in a lot of just wombo, combo, and synergy, and they knew exactly where to go and where to place their abilities.
And again, I mean, the ultimate from Terra not used, it was available. The ultimate from Xbalanque not used, was available. The ultimate from Athena not used, was available. I mean, those were 3 ultimates that might have been able to help Farleez get out. Maybe the Athena wasn't 5 at that time. I think they might have just hit that, but still taking advantage of that early game, and that's something that Excellence is going to have to do a better job of reacting to.
McDeezy taking advantage of the right mid Harpies once again. Farleez looking for the pin, going to be able to find it, but still, these Harpies are going to go down for McDeezy.
Actually, Dr. TPC still wants to fight. His ultimate still down for a little bit. And 50-meter fly, and Farleez just going to go back to farming, but Awilix is still here.
PTC coming in the back line. Nice moonlit charge. Going to be able to erase Farleez from the map that early, even with the Xbalanque ultimate.
They got his purification as well, and that's the thing. Xbalanque, it's going to be great, but it's not going to be able to stop if it's 100-0 burst. And I mean, last time I think they had time to react. That time there was really no time for Excellence to pop their globals and help him get out of there. He was dead no matter what. The issue right now is that he also burned his purification, and so for the next 135 seconds, he's going to be very susceptible to another gank from that Awilix.
That raw ult on point to clear out those minions. Now
we're going
to see these mid players back off, head back to camp, and then get their items.
And Raw probably didn't really need to ult there. I think his 1 was high enough to clear the wave, but just wanted to get back to bases.
Save a little bit of time.
As fast as possible. Now has the penetration boots online, and you could see the lead for McDeezy's actually really start to happen. About 1,600 separating them right now, almost 2,000 experience as well. Excellence is going to have to play this a lot safer.
Definitely, and I mean, it's pretty safe over in all aspects. They've been pretty far back. It's only that last play that we saw Farleez push a little too far forward, and he's been all of the kills thus far, and that's not good for the jungle Erlang.
And I gotta give credit to McDeezy's, coming in here. These are guys who, haven't played at the highest level before. They were the Challenger Cup team coming through Face It, and already starting off really strong. I mean, this is for a chance to come to LAN, and McDeezy's have clearly come prepared.
And Excellence are no team to just roll over. I mean, they've done well throughout the SCL.
Yeah.
They've been here for a while. We know these players' names, and pulling, I guess, the best from the best, plucking from where they want on these other SCL teams, and still it's not working out in their favor.
I mean, that's the thing, too. There's actually, a lot of drama going on about team synergy, where when you make these rushed changes, sure, you might get someone who's better individually than the other players you've been playing with. But that doesn't mean you guys are going to be able to combine as smoothly as before. Sometimes that synergy, it takes time to build. Sometimes it takes months or, even half a year to build. We've seen that, I think, with Herwind and Homie Efe. It took them a while to really start getting rolling, and same with, even with Rival, right? Watson and Rapio, it took them a while to make sure to get on that synergetic level to compete with the best.
And you've mixed up the 2 biggest synergies, the duo lane and the mid lane. But Predators, using the root to this advantage, going to be able to use enough time to get Mr. Turtle here with the ultimate to back off. And now Doctor might have a bit of a problem jumping away from Suku, using that purification as well. Not going to die just yet.
A little bit of a sloppy invade coming out from McDeezy's, but actually here's the Robin force and purification on Farleez. Overall, that's probably a win. I mean, I guess they burdened their meditation and one purification out of Dr. TPC, but I think it's more important for Farleez to have his. He's so far behind right now. And Excellence still want to fight.
Gonna have a nice two-man taunt
Huge
into the
ult.
Ra. Huge ult. Farleez able to take one. And Gibbon looking very low. Farleez still trying to chase. Instead, gonna go ahead and turn around.
That pin a really long cooldown, so not going to be able to get the extra kill, but Excellence, really good job. I mean, starting from the right-hand side, Predators is getting pressured, but he's able to juke out long enough, survive. We saw the global ults from Turtle and Welshbeastq, and it made it incredibly hard for MCDZ to keep up that pressure.
Oh no, the root gonna come through. Farleez is still here though, enough to get the Ravana off of the Terra.
Good job from Farleez there, finding that pin. If he doesn't, Predators could have easily taken a spill there, but that Ravana, that's the thing, you know, he likes to get the lane pressure, and up against Terra, who isn't really going to be able to poke him back. He has no issue just fighting into this. Stunwave doing a great job so far in this early game. About 1,000 gold lead in only 7 minutes.
And Farleez has been having a rough early game, so we haven't really been able to see him step into these side lanes and try to put the extra pressure, which is why Stunwave is doing his own thing and doing a good job of it because he hasn't been punished.
And Farleez really shouldn't be forcing the issue, as Tolly would say, anytime soon here. I like them playing defensively and just utilizing those global ults to make an impact when MCDZs get aggressive. I think both comps are going to be good late game, but Excellence's comp to me tells me that they need to slow down the pace a little bit. Let their Agni get some items online. Let the Xbalanque, you know, potentially get some passive stacks. You can see he's got that. He's got his boots working on the Transcendence as well, and just kind of get him in a position where he's going to be able to rotate and make a huge impact.
But now we're going to have these 3v3 matchups. Now, nice pin onto TPC. A little bit of Agni Bomb damage, too. Going to find all three into the taunt, into the shield wall, and Mr. Turtle going to be able to take him off the board.
Not sure what really happened there. It looked like TPC just kind of stopped moving. I don't know if he dropped his controller or what happened, but Excellence, I mean, they're going to take advantage of that. This is the Gauntlet, you know. You gotta play to win in these moments, and right now, Excellence got behind pretty far early. Done a good job, though, picking up the last 2 kills and really slowing down MCDZ's pace.
Ra really hurts. A nice taunt coming through. Farleez still trying to force the issue, but he's too slowed. He's got the Terra ult on him, but still, even after all of that, Ao Mayo still able to get away. Sudzi Gibbon chasing him out as well.
And I'm actually surprised Farleez is going for this Ick-File build. I mean, I do agree that Excellence's comp lacks damage, but if he just gets one defensive item, he's never going to die. He's got Athena ult to mitigate a lot of damage, Xbalanque ult, which is going to cause MCDZ to miss a lot of abilities. On top of that, his own heal and the heal from Terra. All he really needs is a Breastplate of Valor or some defensive item in the next slot, and it's going to be hard for MCDZ to find those combo kills on him like they were able to in the early game.
It just ends up for Excellence being CC for days. They want to chain that as long as they can, because at that point, they're going to be able to find these kills. Jump, Welshbeastq forced to get away, but CRYSIS having a little bit of an easier time in this lane. Gold Fury is being aggressed upon MCDZ, not even faltering.
And this should be free here, but they No, McDee's, why'd you reset? That was a free.
They reset.
They even had the raw snipe. Oh, they got so scared on that. Like, that was just such a good play from them at the beginning, because what happened was Excellence was so worried that their buffs were going to be invaded, they put everyone on the right-hand side. That was called out. The team just immediately goes to the Gold Fury because CRYSIS was able to outbox Welsh, and so Welsh wasn't going to be able to contest, but they just got scared. I mean, they had it for free. They had the raw snipe for confirmation.
The only, Terra was on the other side, like you mentioned, so you don't have to worry about that Wrath. So they're getting, like you mentioned, scared, and it's unfortunate because that's exactly what I wanted to see. They take advantage of the fact that everybody's on the other side. There's nobody that's going to be able to get here in enough time, even with these global ultimates.
I almost want to think that MCDZ is surprised at how well they're doing in this game as well. Yeah, I mean, we're 11 minutes in. They've made some mistakes, but a lot of it has been Excellence, really just adapting their play style. Studzy gonna jump in, get taunted out though.
Yep, shield wall, but the heal from Ra gonna be good. Gibbon still gonna be able to heal himself right back up, and now Excellence back in their 3-man pack in the mid lane. MCDZ feel a lot more comfortable. We're not really seeing them group up in the middle as much. They're going out taking their buffs. It's just like this nice rotation. They're babysitting the mid lane.
And they should do this for now. Just farm up. Look at this though. Stunwave is just really bullying this Terra. Has a 2-level lead. Starting to work on what looks like gonna be Spirit's Robe. You don't see that too often in your second item, and it is just. This makes sense though. There's so many stuns and CC on Excellence. That's gonna proc all the time in fights, and you're just gonna have basically permanent damage damage reduction.
In Predators, we saw him for a couple of weeks move over to the jungle to switch out with Malloys, but Predators is absolutely no novice to the solo
He's
lane.
a monster.
But what can he do against this Ravana?
I mean, right now, this is all he needs to do is just farm up. Ravana is supposed to get a lead early game, and just because of Farleez dying twice, you know, in the first couple minutes, that it's made it even harder for the Terra to really fight back into it. Can't really protect, you know, her own buffs. Can't really force a fight or, you know, look to rotate. And so he's just got to play passively for now, farm up. And this is fine as long as the Ravana doesn't rotate. I mean, if Predators is in lane and Stunwave's in lane, that's great because that global ultimate's going to affect the team fight where Stunwave not going to be able to do anything.
Just keep him busy at this point, and so far so good. He's been looking at every single buff. He's been on these rotations. He's been down in between the two. He's been down in between the two towers just to proxy these waves.
And the issue we're seeing though is MCDZ's not really taking any advantage of their advantage. They're not pressing forward. You know, they've started up this Gold Fury twice now, and at some point they gotta commit to it.
It's less favorable conditions from the last time, but Gold Fury's still falling fast. 50-meter fly using the Agni bombs and the raw snipe, but it's still going to go to MCDZ. And now Dr. may get punished for it, but the Suku going to be able to jump away, but Welshbeastq with the poison. Welshbeastq still trying to follow up. Bacchus going to be able to jump, and Farleez getting channeled by the Athena ultimate. If they can find
Athena's
a good
going
taunt, there he goes. The poison's still going to be good. Welshbeastq, though, that taunt going to be able to heal Erlang Shen right back up. Farleez just trying to stay in this fight.
And here's Stunwave. I mean, he's made the rotation. The Terra way too slow. Didn't have the TP available, but a good job from Excellence right now, fighting together, fighting around that monolith. They're going to be able to sustain back up, and they don't lose a single member. It got scary, honestly, for both teams there, but that's the thing. MCDZ's finally commit to it, but it's the worst possible time. Excellence was too close to the Gold Fury, and those Agni bombs and the taunt from Athena just had a huge impact. And off of this, they only got one kill. They did lose the Gold Fury, but they're going to be able to pressure this tower out as well. MCDZ's, I mean, the fight went on so long ago. This is going to allow their team to respawn.
Definitely, and now they want to go ahead and continue to aggress. Welshbeastq going to whiff, however, but MCDZ going to go ahead and back off.
They're just both standing in their healer circles. That's all they're doing. Just one team in the raw heal, one team in the Terra monolith, and that's something that's going to be a big factor in these fights later on. Is if people can't commit and get kills, the healing's going to be huge.
Sudsy Gibbon getting punished for his doubled knockup and double stun, but still, the Intoxicate going to be good.
He's
Sudsy
still
Gibbon
alive?
barely alive, but at this point, Terra might be able to take him out. Gibbon going to be able to get into that backline and then jump away to safety.
And Excellence, their tank is incredibly compy, but their comp is incredibly tanky, excuse me. But the thing is, they don't have a lot of damage, and so Gibson just able to sit there for a while, not even needing the meditation. He doesn't have shell either. That was just the raw sustain from Bacchus and his passive.
If 50-meter fly or Welshbeastq aren't in that fight, or if they're not hitting their abilities, nothing's going to happen to MCDZ at all.
And also, you could see Agni going for the Divine Ruin. Predators on the right-hand side, though. Could be in a little bit of trouble. But, I mean, it's just going to be so hard for Stunwave to confirm that kill. But the Divine Ruin picked up. I love the anti-healing, but the issue is that's going to stunt the damage coming out of Agni for a little bit until he can get, you know, Obsidian Shard and another big mage item online.
TPC wanted to wait and try to gank, but instead, the call from the rest of the team is to back off. There's nobody there in the first place. Terra gonna go ahead and head back to base, heal up. She had no mana, and now she's not gonna have any mana buff if she's not careful.
Farleez, though, does want to put the pressure. The Xbalanque got a single kill. I mean, this is good if he can execute this gank, and Jingwei has no idea. Airstrike is available, so they've got to combo her fast.
Coming around the corner,
Missed.
the pin gonna miss, but that is going to be a nice stun coming through. The Sanctuary going to heal up or keep him safe for just a little bit, but between all of them, the airstrike is still going to get her out of danger.
Turtle still wants this, and the Terra ult used as well just to close the gap. The heal going to come in big from the Raw. Farleez around as well. Farleez finally does confirm the kill onto CRYSIS, but it didn't go to the Xbalanque, so not too big of a loss there. I'm just really surprised that CRYSIS just didn't immediately ult once the pressure was there. Instead, trying to just burn Sanctuary instead. I mean, that's such a long cooldown, and now his relics are both down and his ult's down, and he still died.
But they invested so much to get that kill. So at that point, that still has to be a slight win for MCDZ. They're only 2 kills behind, but gold is still in their favor with the help from that Gold Fury.
That fight's only a win if they take advantage of that and force a fight without those ultimates being down. Again, they have 4 of their own, but they're just playing too passively, and this is really worrisome. MCDZ did a great job in the early game. They were the aggressors. They had the composition that was going to be great for picking players off, and they did that. They got 2 kills. Then they tried to invade that speed buff. Excellence, played it really well, used their global ultimates, which to be fair is hard to fight into, but after that wasn't successful, they haven't really done anything actively outside of that Gold Fury.
They're not capitalizing on the small lead that they have had for the entirety of the game. Excellence have not been able to pull them out of this lead yet, but as time progresses, they're going to be able to. MCDZ want to take this early. They want this to be done quick, and Excellence, they're fine with just waiting this out.
And they're just going to continue to wait it out, and you can see them trying to get their Xbalanque ahead. Farleez, off of that 1 kill, Welsh was getting outboxed, but now he finished off his Zig file, and he's able to kind of take these 1v1s and push up against this tower. He does need to be careful, though, on potential rotations. Gibbons just going to rotate back over, right on top of Wards, though, and so Welsh, all he has to do is back off.
Yeah, you see him backpedaling there, and then now Bacchus knows what's going on. He can just... Between the team, they know. Talking to each other, the communication is good. I love the fact that we're seeing these teams push and pull in the lanes, back off. These calls, we see rotations being completely halted and then go to the other side because they're letting each other know what's going on even if they don't have the ward coverage.
And now Stunwave has rotated over with this Gold Fury respawning. Farleez is just hanging around making sure that MCDZ can't do it. And MCDZ aren't really interested, and it is kind of hard for them. That mid tower put a lot of, kind of gave a lot of map pressure and presence to Excellence. MCDZ don't have that safety of that tier 1 anymore and do have to be careful.
Stunwave may have gotten pinched. There were 3 members of Excellence there, but Stunwave is level 17. The only one that's even close is Terra and Xbalanque, and the Welshbeastq is on the other side of the map doing what he can.
And you could just see his build as well. He went for the Spirit's Robe, now he has Breastplate. He's not gonna be dying anytime soon, except maybe to the Agni, but again, the Agni, he went for that Divine Rune, doesn't have any penetration online, and so just those 40 protections that Spirit's Robe, gives the Robin, it's gonna be really hard for him to burn through that, even with his entire kit dumped in. He's also 4 levels behind.
MCDZ looking at the Gold Fury, but the rotations coming out from Excellence are enough to have them completely back off once again. No team's really going to be able to take this easy anymore. MCDZ could have had their free Gold Fury early in the game, but now it's going to have to be fought for each time.
No, and again there, the main issue is that MCDZ probably could have baited that fight. They had the Robin with TP up, and the Terra was stuck in that soul, and I would really like to see them. They didn't even have to commit to the Gold Fury there. If they just bait in Excellence and then just try and go for a pick-off here, and now they're actually the ones getting picked off on their rotation, but taunt off the mark, and that's going to allow Gibson to get away.
Had the jump as well, so even if he had been taunted, it would have gotten a little bit of damage, but tanky Bacchus would have been able to get away just fine. However, MCDZ in position to try and pinch onto Turtle, and a Farleez Suku jump going to be good, forcing out Farleez ultimate with the Erlang. He's taking a lot of damage, but there he goes, healing right back up. The taunt onto Dr. TPC, going to be good, but then the Feather Step comes through, chunking. The snipe going to hit too, but it's not enough to take anybody's HP out just yet.
This is a good fight for MCDZ, but they need to all-in commit. They've taken too long and allowed that Terra to heal up a lot of their team. Instead, they should back off and just look for their own heal. You could see pop their meditation and actually head straight to the Gold Fury and start it up. There was a lot of ultimates burned on both sides there.
But Excellence, like you mentioned, are still able to heal back up, so
they
we're going to be in the
it.
same position early on. All the jumps, all the ults are being used. Mystic Rush in the backline and the taunts. Here comes Airstrike over to the damage camp just to get out of danger, but going to turn right back around for Mayo.
Oh, Mayo.
Mayo going to be able to take out Farleez,
Okay.
surprisingly, and now Welshbeastq boxing for his life with Stun Wave. Going to lose it, unfortunately, not able to build that passive and Stun Wave. Going to be able to just walk away victorious.
Great fight for MCDZ. Predator's still hanging around here. The Agni being chased as well, but the dash going to make sure 50-meter fly is safe. This is going to be a Gold Fury over to MCDZ, though, unless Predators can make a hero play.
And Predators does have the, doesn't have the Wrath
he's
available.
done.
He could have been able to make that hero play, but he backs off. Gold Fury is going to go once again to MCDZ, just bringing their lead up even further, 5,000 gold and almost 4,000 experience.
And what happened to that fight is that both both front lines on the teams dove into the enemy back lines. We saw that chase onto the Raw and Dr. TPC in the back, or excuse me, it was CRYSIS in the back line. However, they were just able to survive long enough and actually take out Farleez, where his stun wave jumped onto Excellence's back line and did a much better job, was able to pick off Welsh. Also, I believe he picked up Turtle in that fight, or excuse me, not Turtle. I guess it was only Farleez and Welsh who died there. I mean, there was deaths kind of all over, but it was only those two picked up in the end.
Only the two big kills, yeah, but Speed Camp, they're just going to back off, head to their own camp, Speed Camp, mid camps. Every little bit counts because there's pretty close to a 6,000 gold lead in favor of Team MCDZ. Excellence need every little bit that they can glean off of this map.
And they should just keep pressing this, right? They were a little bit timid after kind of their, you know, we were seeing MCDZ's kind of get over their own hesitance throughout this game. They looked great on the opening, found 2 picks onto Farleez, invade the speed, doesn't go their way. They're like, okay, we're not doing anything. Start up a Gold Fury, clean. No one's gonna stop it. Then they drop it because someone walks on a ward nearby.
Because they're getting scared.
And then they're like, okay, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna actually do the Gold Fury. Then they finally do the Gold Fury, but then it's not the best position and they end up getting picked off.
Nice knock up into the Intoxicate. Still a lot of damage. Farleez trying to get away. Has the help of the Terra ult as well as his own. So no kill potential onto the Erlang Shen this time, but they popped a lot of ultimates in retaliation to keep that one Erlang alive.
TPC looping around the side as well, but doesn't find an angle. Would have had to jump into 3 and his team wasn't in a position to follow up. I love this though. MCDZ just putting on the pressure now. They're just trying to find these picks in the jungle, open up something on the map. They're spreading Excellence, then baiting out actually a couple of those ults too.
Oh, 50-meter fly, taking a lot of damage, but not going to be able to connect with that ultimate. Instead, we're going to see Ra take a lot of damage onto Farleez once again, and now there's no Sanctuary available for either of them to use. The pin going to just do a little bit of damage, but Sanctuary on the Ra on the backline going to get him back so we can heal the rest of the team.
The double heals, they're just, if they can't find the kill initially, they're both going to back up. Welsh actually burning a Sanctuary, but this has opened up CRYSIS for this tier 1 tower. Great movement by MCDZ's overall, and I think that's Farleez's ult as well. This is huge. MCDZ's need to be looking for a fight here.
They definitely do. We're going to see the jump, the knock up into the Terra ult, but there it goes once again. We're seeing him get knocked up, taking a lot of damage into the tower. Ravana forced to head right on back. Excellence not being picked off quite easily this time.
Here's the thing though, I mean, MCDZ's at this point don't even need to kill Excellence. If they keep playing around their Raw and their golden experience lead, sure, Excellence's comp is mainly tanky. Turtle though going aggressive here, trying to find something.
Found a nice 3-man taunt's what he found, but now there's no real follow-up coming out from the rest of the team. Now we're going to see the Moonlight Charge find 3 and into the ultimate. Mr. Turtle taking a lot of damage from Raw. Sudsy Gibbon popping down the Intoxicate and then running off into the backline. Fly taking a little bit of damage as well, getting bullied, but once again, another taunt on point from Turtle.
This comp is just so tanky from Excellence, but the thing is MCDZ's are able to out-sustain them with the Raw heal, also pressure Excellence back to Fountain and open up these objectives. I love this, right? It's not going to be about the team fights. It's just going to be about pushing Excellence off and gaining the objectives and finding your lead through that.
They just keep teasing me. I feel like we're going to see a kill. I'm getting really excited. And then we see nothing because they heal back up or they're just too dang tanky. It's back to tank boot meta.
And this is one of the things, you know, there's a lot of talk recently about, you know, the healer meta and, you know, people not really picking up anti-heal against it here. TPC, oh, nice knock-up Farleez. That might just be enough.
That was not enough, but Welshbeastq able to come right back in, use that poison, and get another stack for his passive.
But the thing here is the anti-healing picked up really early for this Agni. The main issue is that Excellence's comp as a whole is so tanky that they don't have the damage to kill MCDZ's. Even though MCDZ's, their lineup is, you know, relatively squishy. Dr. TPC, I mean, now he's starting to build into tankiness, but, you know, early game he was open and available to it. And because of this, Excellence don't really have an opportunity to kill anyone now.
At this point in the game, 25 minutes and 10 seconds, it is all up to Welshbeastq. He's level 20, he's 2-1, he has 2 stacks on his passive, he's going to hurt a little harder. He's going to have to carry until Agni hits level 20, and then we're going to start seeing the rest of this damage and these big team fights pull through.
And you can see that, I mean, 22,000, like you mentioned, just top damage. He's going to be the one swinging and doing all the work. You can see the team giving him the red buff as well. The Agni doing, you know, just over half of what the damage he's been able to output. And on the bottom end, you can see this Terra, you know, has just really been about sustain and control. 5,000 damage for a solo laner who is boxing a ton. But the thing is, 14,000 healing is massive. And you can see 15,000 on the other side for the Raw. And that's the main reason we're not seeing a lot of kills. We're seeing a ton of action, but no ability to lock down people.
It's that healing meta right now. They're doing so good stacking up these healers. We're going to see Stun Wave get aggressive onto Predators, but there's no way he's going to be able to take that Terra down. Absolutely none by himself.
Ooh, nice flop, but no one in position. Fly's going to dash away here, but in the front line, it's trouble for Farleez. He's trying to get his heal off. The raw snipe off the mark is going to get the heal through. The Terra's blessing as well. Should keep him safe, but Stun Wave doesn't want to let him go for free there. Pushing forward, does burn his ult, and it's just going to be a grouping from Excellence under their Phoenix.
He wanted to use that Mystic Rush to close the distance
Wave,
and bring in a little bit of damage.
Stun Wave, you can't fight this.
No, he's going to be able to kick right on out and then heal right back up. He couldn't take anybody down, but he definitely fought it. Meanwhile, CRYSIS fighting Fly and coming out the victor there. But Purification and Sanctuary burn for CRYSIS this time. And he's going to be a sitting duck.
And that meditation too, double meditation, the sustain from Raw. Everyone on MCDZ starting to build tanky here. DPC getting a little bit low, tanking that Phoenix, probably doesn't want to do that too much, but just look at that knock-up potential. Turtle plucked back into the team. Managed to get out with just a sliver of health.
But now Team MCDZ still putting on the pressure, looking at this Phoenix, and now Farleez having to back off. The only one here is Predators.
Someone
he's going to try to heal back up. They're looking for the kill, but all these purifications, all these relics have been burned, and still nothing. Stun Wave able to find the kill with the ultimate, which this entire time has come back.
But here's Welsh. Here's Welsh. She's able to answer back one, looking for the Bacchus, trying to chase down the Raw. And there's the Terra's Blessing as well. That's going to help him close the gap, but it's going to be just the Stun Wave pickup here. So Phoenix is secured by MCDZ's, but they lose a couple members off of it.
Stun Wave still surviving thus far,
He'll die
but
eventually.
it's only one more hit.
I hope.
He just needs one. Welshbeastq going to be able to find it, finding 2 in this fight thus far, bringing him up to 4, 1, and 0.
I mean, just look at the damage charts, right? Before that last Phoenix Siege, we talked about it, Welshbeastq, he had 22,700 odd damage, now at 30,000. So he put out almost 8,000 damage in that one fight. Like, he is the guy, and now Fire Giant gonna be started up here. MCDZ's know this is going on, though.
It is completely up to Welshbeastq to burn this down and still keep MCDZ at bay. The Intoxicate gonna find 3, though. Fantastic. All the taunt gonna be good, and Sudsy Gibbon gonna get CC'd for days and then take these shots from the Fire Giant.
He's just so tanky right now. All he needed to do there was just stop the Fire Giant, and once he pops that Intoxicate, MCDZ's, or excuse me, Excellence has to get out of that area. They can't really fight into it. They're gonna be wobbling around, getting knocked up by the Fire Giant, sit in the pools, and you could see the rest of MCDZ's around the corner anyway, so they had to disengage that. Great play by Gibbon.
MCDZ still managing to hold on to the lead despite these fights not working in their favor recently. Still looking very strong. One kill down, but look at this gold.
Predators is probably going to get out of this. I mean, he's so tanky, and just there's not enough damage on TPC right now. I mean, Predator's just laughing this off. There's no way that was ever going to be a kill.
They shouldn't have popped that ultimate either. Awilix using the gravity surge just to pull him back a little bit further, but they had no kill potential. At all.
And again, you can see Raw doing kind of that same thing as the Agni, a little bit different though, going more for that tanky style. He's got the Chronos Pendant, which is great for the healing, but has a helm, a tier 2 helm as well, going to be building into the Celestial Legion more than likely, that anti-crit. But I mean, Xbalanque is not even building crit at this point. And so his damage is going to be, it's going to be good. It's not going to be bad damage out of the Raw, but it's not going to be those, 900, 1,000 damage ultimates onto those tanky targets. It's going to be 300 or 400.
Do you want to see more anti-heal coming out from MCDZ just because they only have a couple of Pestilences and that's it?
Probably both. I mean, they went for the double they went for pure sustain. They went double meditation and didn't pick up a curse. But the thing is, these fights are going on for so long. A curse isn't really going to be effective.
Farleez has no idea this is happening. CRYSIS is doing this Gold Fury, and Farleez has absolutely no idea. Team MCDZ going to be able to take that Gold Fury, and Excellence had no vision.
And now an 8,400 gold lead off of that. Experience still a little bit of a difference too. You could see it's been trouble for a 50-meter fly to kind of farm up. Only level 18, 30 minutes in.
Farleez had no idea.
He did have no idea.
Right there.
He just didn't. He didn't feel like checking it. He's like, I don't need a Gold Fury to win this. I'm tanky enough as is.
Oh man, that's really unfortunate for Excellence because that's just yet another peg in the win conditions for MCDZ right now. But at this point, the Fire Giant dance starting to begin. Team MCDZ looking a little bit stronger, though.
And Welsh is going to chase this. He just needs a couple shots. He forces the airstrike out, and it's a 4v4 on the right-hand side. Big taunt coming out of Turtle.
Two-man taunt, but forcing out that Sanctuary is the biggest part with that Awilix. The Turtle's still going to be good, and TPC forced to jump away with Suku. Farleez trying to pin, trying to bring out this CC, even though he's not dishing out as much damage as, say, Welshbeastq or 50-meter Fly would.
And just a little bit worried there because Jingwei's passive coming in, also the Terra's Blessing, didn't open up any opportunities. And now McDeezy's, they know that ult's down. They're going to push forward. Two-man knock up into the root. Turtle plucks back into TPC, trying to deal with the Athena, while Farleez is running away on the bottom side. The double healing come out. Excellence are getting pressured in this, but McDeezy's can't line up any CC enough to lock someone down and find a kill.
The root from Predator is going to be good, able to keep them at bay for a little while longer, but MCDZ burned so many relics on Excellence's side. It was that was a win, even though they found absolutely no kills for that. And now they're going to take their wins in the form of this tier 2 tower.
I'm a little bit surprised it took them this long to start doing this, but actually a fight under this tower. Turtle very low, has to retreat. And again, just McDeezy's playing so well around their raw, popping their sanctuaries at the correct time, have the double sustain. Now all they have is a sprint and a single sanctuary on CRYSIS for this fight, so they do need to be careful here.
All they need is one good bit of CC. Welshbeastq using his sanctuary, and now he's going to be jumping away, and that opens up Excellence's tower.
Farleez.
TPC taking a lot of damage, though. Welshbeastq going to be able to find him, and now Farleez stuck between two members. Welshbeastq going to find another kill. He's trying to clean up, and they're so low. Stunwave may be the next casualty if he can just get a couple more hits.
Mr. Turtle finds there. Welshbeastq finds his third, looking for his fourth as well. Gibbon trying to get away. Welsh, you're not ROM. You can't auto-attack through that wall, but Fire Giant is opened. And I mean, that was just after McDeezy's played so well, they just split up. They left the Raw alone, and that's the issue. We talked about it. Once the Xbalanque comes on, he's going to be devastated. Look at that. He had like 31,000 damage before that fight, almost 40K now. That's the only person that McDeezy's have to worry about, and they left him alone, untouched, into the face of their Raw.
Like I said, it's all Welshbeastq. Fire Giant gonna fall, nobody nearby, because everybody but Sudzy is dead.
And also, I mean, those last 3 kills pushed him to his mass passive stack, so he's got 30 extra power. It's gonna be a tier 1 on the right-hand side, and you know, I do love what McDeezy's did there. Overall, they baited Fire Giant for a while, wasn't really working out, so instead they switched over to that tower siege, which you know is successful. We saw what happened in the mid lane, but I think they took a little bit long to decide to do that. They easily could have taken that tower on the left-hand side as well, looked to siege up another Phoenix, but instead they took that fight on the right-hand side after they had burned all their relics, and then they kind of just misplayed it and they paid for it.
It's just capitalization on these tiny little bits of mistakes, and Farleez, I like what he's done so far. 2, 5, and 6. He's had a really rough game in the early, but he's starting to find his momentum from the mid to late game here. 33 minutes and 40 seconds. We're still seeing this lead coming out from MCDZ, but the kills are starting to go back in favor of Excellence. We're seeing this objective control too.
Oh, that Raw caught out, has to burn Purification, and they're chasing him too.
They want to keep going, but the taunt into CRYSIS, he may be the next casualty. They're forced to use the airstrike, but now they're heading back into the mid lane, where we see the Intoxicate. TPC takes out Welshbeastq, and that's a huge chunk of the damage.
Just instantly.
Almost all the damage that Excellence can pump out.
And McDeezy's need to take advantage of this. They have a man advantage, and it's the most important man they needed to take out. And you could see them grouping up. Honestly, they probably don't even need to force a kill here. Likely could just heal up sustain, but they're still body blocking Turtle, rooting him in place. He does get the dash, but Stunwave still wants the chase. Snipe off the mark there, but McDeezy's are full health at the edge of this Phoenix.
He needed one more hit, but wasn't able to find it. 50-meter Fly is the next big target, because he's the only one that's going to be able to dish out anywhere close.
Right, Phoenix. Right, Phoenix. No, do right, Phoenix, please.
That would
McDeezy's, it was free.
That would have loosened up a lot of pressure for them, but instead they're going to go ahead and back off.
Playing it safe.
They have that left tower that they can work on, and then head right back up to the mid jungle and take out that Gold Fury.
They are doing a great job with objectives right now, and it is going to be the Gold Fury. The main issue though is that they're already full build, so it doesn't really matter that they're getting all this extra gold. I would have liked to see them go for the Phoenix, you know, kind of get those pressure into the waves. That would have made doing that next Fire Giant, you know, that much easier.
Is that timidity, or is that just a bad call.
I mean,
it's not a bad call,
this is a
but
Challenger Cup team that, hasn't played at the highest level of competitive, and they are, don't get me wrong, have been so impressive. Overall, just for everything they've been able to do, playing around everything, taking an early lead against such a tenured team and tenured players like Excellence. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to win the Gauntlet, but, I mean, MCDZ is a team to watch out for next season if you're looking at that EU SEL.
Definitely. And even though the Fire Giant.
Yeah, that got taken a while ago.
Yeah, no, Excellence still have it, but it's going to be up. And MCDZ, need to look at that. I think that's going to be the next big thing. They're over on the right side, and like you mentioned, you wanted to see that right Phoenix fall. I would have wanted to see the left one fall.
It's possible.
Then they would have had to worry about the left side, and nobody would have been over on the right.
At the very least, I mean, they've been able to successfully siege towers and phoenixes for the past 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do almost anything else other than that, especially with a Fire Giant down. They've proven that they can, bait out relics, play around their raw, and play it properly, but really wanting to instead focus on that Fire Giant fight. They don't want to take a risk at the edge of a Phoenix. They want to play it safe and make sure to close out this win.
Welshbeastq has a potion activated. He wants to dish out as much as he can because he's really, I don't want to say he's the saving grace of the team, but he kind of is right now.
I mean, look at it. Go back to that screen. Look at his power. It's 345. He has 345 power without a Fire Giant or a red buff. I mean, that's huge. Like, he is going to be critting for a ton, like just a huge amount. And such fast attack speed, too.
The big thing is, though, he's going to have to be able to hit them. And if they keep doing what they're doing, trying to take Welshbeastq out early, then all that's not going to matter.
I mean, it's going to come down to 2 things. One is positioning, and 2, the ultimate coming out of Terra, right? Timing that and making sure to peel for him. That should be Excellence's entire job in the next couple of fights, is keep Welshbeastq alive. Just make sure that Dr. TPC and Stunwave, who have really been the primary divers, can't get to him. Not for as easy as they did last engagement.
We don't see too many games that get to this length, but it really comes down to just bare bone Smite, like you mentioned, positioning, how you play your god and how you synergize with the other gods and the players that you're playing with. Team MCDZ, though, looking to pinch. We have 2 on the right side and then 3 coming down in the middle. They're looking for Welsh.
They want that pick. That Phoenix in the mid, not respawning for a little bit, still grouped up in the mid here. They're just looking for any edge that Excellence is going to give them. And Excellence just playing this so passively. And here we go. The siege finally happening. MCDZs don't want to wait for the Fire Giant. They're just going to push straight in.
They just want, it's a patience game for
Look
Excellence.
at Stunwave.
They want to wait this out, but Stunwave back, he's
It's so distracting.
Forward. It really is.
It's so distracting.
You don't know what he's going to do.
MCDZ still looking to siege this up. And Stunwave, I mean, he's just pushing these fire waves in, and this is giving so much room for MCDZ's on the Phoenix.
Definitely. We're going to see the final. We're going to see it come in. The jump, the intoxicate, the Xbalanque ultimate being used, but not stunning out anybody to take them out. Instead, Suzzy is just soaking up so much damage from this Phoenix, and it's just going to continue to fall.
Predator's very low, going to dash away, but look at this. Mayo's been caught by himself. They need to help peel for him. There goes Welshbeastq. He finds the kill, turning his attention. He's going to fall in return. Sanctuary going to buy him time for now, and he's still alive, but he does get picked off.
Turtle comes in, just tries to help him out, but Stunwave able to take him out instead. And now Turtle forced it back. He's not going to be able to provide that peel. So Doctor on this Awilix going to be able to push forward, regroup with the rest of his team, and then siege once again.
Has to back off a little bit, worried about that Agni. Oh, trouble. What is CRYSIS doing there by himself?
Staying a little too late, and now that opens up for Predators. Looking to try and lock down Doctor, but Suku going to be able to jump.
He's actually trying to back here. I think he has the timing. Predators, no, he caught them.
Finds it right there. Turtle here as well, but the Feather Step not really going to be able to save you. They're very tanky. Even though they don't have the damage, they're going to be able to sustain coming out from Team MD's, coming out from the Team MCDZ. But Excellence still chasing. They want to punish. They want to punish everybody for what they've tried to done.
Just a great job there by Predators, finding around the corner, or it actually might have been the reach from Athena. Either way,
something.
A good job of catching TPC there, and it's not going to be a Fire Giant attempt. Gibbon is still up on that Bacchus, and he was able to successfully stop them last time, but MCDZ's just getting a little bit too split up in these fights. They did manage to take out that mid Phoenix that respawned in the middle of that extended engagement, so they at least still do have those fire waves pressuring in.
We're starting to see the lack of experience coming out from Team MCDZ, though. Just because they have good calls, they have that strong early game, they have the strong team fight presence, but when it gets to this point, we're 40 minutes in, where these strats aren't really going to be able to take Excellence off kilter.
I think it's too many people on McDeezy's trying to make plays, right? Stunwave is the only one who needs to be in that back line, distracting everyone. Everyone else should be playing around the raw, looking for the siege, you know, doing some long-range poke. Use your raw beams, right? Use Bacchus to belly flop in, try and bait out some relics, reset. You know, you have the Gust as well, incredibly disrupting in those smaller areas for teams around the Phoenix.
But every single fight that they've been able to take out Mayo early on, because they've left the raw trying to make these plays, they've lost. And that's exactly what happened back down at that Phoenix.
And they need to make sure to protect Mayo a little bit better. You can see Mayo does have a fair amount of health there with the Warlock Sash. Also, Lotus Crown going to give him some bonus protections, but he's still a mage at heart. He doesn't have enough physical or magical defense to survive the onslaught of Excellence diving him in the back line.
They've been buying a little bit of time, however. His relics are finally coming back up. He's got both of them, the Purification and the Sanctuary, so a little bit more survivability, and that's why we see them start the Fire Giant now. And
it's actually getting burned real quickly. It's about half-life, but it's just a bait. You can see Turtle not able to get a taunt off, and in the back line, Gibbon distracting so much.
Knockups are OP, Welshbeastq in the back line, but here comes
Oh, no.
Look at it all.
Around the corner there.
Wow.
Welsh just able to stay alive, and everyone just so tanky. Predators just there looking for the stun. Actually, from the side, the Agni Bomb's fine, too. The taunt as well onto TPCs, trying to get out, pops his Sanctuary, and Welsh just in that back line, still left untouched for the most part, and just no one's dying.
TPC is still alive. Stunwave still alive. Stunwave should have been able to take down Welshbeastq in that fight. I lost my words because that was handed to him on a platter.
Oh,
and he wasn't able to take it. The knockup going to be good. Turtle going to be stunned out for a little bit, but the raw beam still doing numbers, and the raw snipe not going to be able to take him out, but TPC going to fall. Welshbeastq still throwing out these auto attacks in the back line, but once again, Stunwave going in for blood.
By himself, he needs to get this kill. He is going to get turned on, knocked up, but there's given an answer back. Farleez managed to take out one, and Predators falls as well. Finally, the kills rain in. 2-on-3 right now in Excellence's favor, and Mayo's caught. He's going to fall 250-meter fly, and it's going to be a 2 for 4 in favor of Excellence.
Putting his name back on the board, 50-meter fly, now starting to dish out that damage that we wanted to see earlier on. It was stunted a little bit because of that Divine Ruin, but he's got full stacks, he's got the penetration.
He's got Spear of Desolation, not an item you see too often.
Yeah, he just finished that after that fight. We're 42 minutes and 42 seconds in, 18-11. MCDZ still have that gold lead, but experience and gold don't matter anymore.
At this point, everyone's full build. I mean, it only matters in relation to 3K pots, but with those fights, if anyone had their 3K pots, you know, they've fallen off now, and it's going to come down to, do they have 3K in their inventory? Can we actually see? I'd like to see a gold in hand if possible, get a good idea there. And you can see no one even close to a 3K pot right now, outside of Welshbeastq, sitting on 2,000. And he's actually sold an item there, picked up Fatalis and Deathbringer, so now he's going to have that crit online. Didn't have it the past couple of fights.
Going to hit like a freaking truck is what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be disgusting, but once again, like you mentioned, Welshbeastq is that target. We've seen them try to pinch in 3-man, 2-man maneuvers in these jungles, just trying to take him out first.
And that last fight actually, you know, was played around Welshbeastq. He was kind of close enough to tempt people in, and then he's just backstepping with that Fatalis, able to just have that extra movement speed, juke players out while basic attacking. And we saw two people, both TPC and Stunwave, dive in, looking for the kill, and a great job by Excellence to pick up both those members. Farleez really the star there, making sure to just sit right next to him, make sure no one can get to him, and try and kill him.
MCDZ wanted this to end early on, and Excellence were fine waiting it out to the point where everything was even, and it was super, super late game. So now, what should be the plan coming out from MCDZ? I
mean, they're still the team with the power position. They need to continue to bait out these fights. It's just about making sure your carries don't dive too deep looking for Welshbeastq by themselves. They need to recognize that Welshbeastq is shredding these frontliners now with just a couple basic attacks.
Stunwave. He's been doing very well thus far, but he's starting to fall off. Robin, very good in the early and mid game, but now he needs to hit these abilities and take down these targets. Otherwise, the whole fight crumbles. Because he couldn't take down Welshbeastq, that was the downfall of the team. They were able to take out the raw. Welshbeastq cleans up, and then they lose that fight.
And Fire Giant now, McDeezy's baiting this. It's at 33%. They're not really looking to commit. You could see, I mean, they're gonna take it if given. And the raw snipe used, Fire Giant does go the way of McDeezy's.
I mean, and that was very easy. At that point, they were just baiting it out, and then they were able to actually get it. Intoxicate going to going to be good. Farleez a little deep in the back line, but popped his ultimate, able to find that heal. Welshbeastq using his jump to get out, but MCDZ, we're not really seeing the same kind of aggression.
No, they're not really in a position. Turtle's still very deep, and look at that. TPC once again looking for Welshbeastq in the back line, gets picked off, overextended. Now it's Stunwave also looking for Welshbeastq, but he's by himself, needs to be careful. Gibson has come in, and still Stunwave ulting, trying to find it, and there's two players once again, the same two from MCDZ's, diving in the back line, overextending and paying for it.
CRYSIS falls, and now the Raw coming through, not able to finish anybody up, but Farleez gonna finish off the Raw in tow. CRYSIS once again,
this could be game.
The only one that's left. We're 45 minutes and 43 seconds in. Just keep running, take advantage of the fact that nobody is alive.
Run up mid lane, that's game. Please, excellence, run up mid lane, take the tower, take the Phoenix. You have so much damage, the Bacchus isn't gonna be able to stop you. You have Predators to heal, but instead, they kind of just split up in different directions. I guess just wanting to take out all the towers, maybe not feeling that they have the damage online right now, and now Bacchus is going to be able to come and attempt to stop them here in this mid lane.
South to Gibbon, not really going to be able to take any of them out, but he's going to be a nuisance when they try to take down these towers at least. The CC going to be good, but popping that a little too early. They're not really doing too much of this tower at all, unfortunately.
That's the issue, though. They did lose Welshbeastq. They probably could have taken at least a Phoenix in the mid lane, but instead electing for the double towers. This is also a good job overall, making sure to finally strip away those objectives. Gold means nothing right now. It's just so when they do win that next fight, there are no towers there, and they can walk in and win. Might have been a little bit risky if they attempted for it there.
It's going to weaken the Titan too as well, so there's always perks to taking down these objectives prior to trying to finish out the game, but MCDZ, the only ones that have been trying to finish anything. They've been starting these objectives, whether it's been to bait or been to actually take them in excellence. They've been reacting instead of trying to make these plays. They could have made something happen, but instead they waited and only got 2 towers out of it.
I mean, at this point, you might as well, though, because MCDZ's have been the one making mistakes. Again, the same two people in the exact same order. Dr. TPC dives in on the Welshbeastq by himself, 1v3, pays for it, gets picked off. Then we see Stunwave once again dive onto Welshbeastq, 1v3 by himself, overextends, gets picked off. The last 2 fights have gone the exact same way for excellence, and they're happy with this. Welshbeastq is just in a position where he puts himself forward enough to get those basics and also make it seem very tempting that, he's open to get picked off. But excellence is doing such a good job of playing around him. Just how MCDZ's did in the earlier game, in that mid game, and I guess in the late game, this is super late game at this point at 50 minutes, but where they were kind of playing around Mayo. Now excellence is doing the same with Welsh.
These fights have been cookie cutter as well. Like you mentioned, it's been the same things happening each and every time. We're seeing the same people fall. We're seeing the same people try to aggress, and it's just not happening. I really want to see Stunwave take out these targets. I keep coming back to that Robin, but Robin's the one that's jumping in. He's trying to make it happen, and it's not.
This is the main issue is that it's just like so hard for anyone to get off any damage outside of these hunters. You can see Jing has crept up on Welshbeastq, still relatively close, but 55,000, almost 56,000 coming out from him. He's just been doing so much work. And
that's Xbalanque. That's late game
Xbalanque. And also a team that has so much setup for him to, not only find those stuns, make it easy to hit the basics, but also peel and protect for him. And that's really what the highlight and kind of the key for excellence has been for me.
Welsh doesn't fall in these team fights until the very end. He may be the last kill, but MCDZ's don't have anybody left standing. It's always one person left. They're able to take down Welsh, but at what cost? They lose 4 out of the 5 members.
Just look at the kills, right? Because MCDZ's have been the aggressors. They've had all the momentum. But the kills are 22-12 in favor of excellence. They've been just the ones to sustain. The issue is they haven't been able to be in a position to, push down too many towers except for the last fight, and they wanted to play it safe, still relying, I think, on MCDZ's overextending in those engagements.
MCDZ's had the momentum early on. They were doing so well, and they caught excellence off guard, but now that excellence, almost 50 minutes in, have sat down, they know what's going on, and it's an even playing field. We're seeing the difference from the pro team and the new team coming in.
I'm going to tell you the main issue here. We haven't seen a McDouble yet. We haven't seen a McDouble kill.
That's why. We haven't seen the McDouble.
I don't think there's been a double kill on the side of MCDZ yet, has there?
I don't think so.
The fights are so extended.
They would have had 6 opportunities to do so.
That's why they can't win. If they get a McDouble kill, I think they're going to win this game, to be honest.
I would love to see that. I'd like to see a little bit more action, a little bit more kill securing happening. But nice taunt onto Gibbon. Unfortunately, it's on the tanky Bacchus, so we're not really going to see anything happen out of that.
Just poke wars here, but again, that's just going to be healed back up. Gibbon doesn't care about that, and you can see Turtle getting hit by the raw snipe or the raw beam. Doesn't really care about that, sits in the obelisk, heals back up to full here. And now it's just going to be a waiting game on, trying to find someone out of position or trying to find a good taunt. And there it is, Turtle going on to TPC.
TPC going to be able to jump away, and you're saying this 50-minute game is going to be a waiting game?
Probably.
All right, well, MCDZ going through the jungle, waiting for the opportunity to try and aggress on Excellence. We're not seeing it yet. Turtle going to get rooted out by Stunwave, but doesn't really want to do anything with that quite yet. MCDZ looking for the opening, but Excellence aren't giving it to them.
It's going to be Gibbon again. He's the one who's really been the great initiator for MCDZ's. We're always finding him, hitting those 2 or 3 man belly flops. It's just not enough instant follow-up, and that's one thing is that, both teams have been a little bit hesitant to burn everything instantly because of how long these fights have been going, but if they can find either the Raw or Welshbeastq and 100-0, then that's huge.
There goes the Purification coming out of the Raw, though, trying to heal himself back up in the middle of the Terra monolith as well. TPC taking a ton of damage, and Welshbeastq going to be able to take him out. It's all up to this Xbalanque at this point, and they're trying to get away. Mayo going to get erased. Just one more hit, but the Sanctuary going to be good, but not for long. Predators getting credit. Sanctuary coming out from CRYSIS as well. Stunwave finally takes out Welshbeastq, but like I mentioned, at what cost?
And now Gibbon very low, gets the meditation, stunned out by Predators here, and Turtle wants to chase this down. Farleez is at his side, just going to pop the mink there, close the distance, and the pin should be good. Doesn't even need it. It's the root, and also one more hit from Farleez to secure the kill. Losing 3 members. This is really bad.
Why are you going away from the Phoenix?
Please.
Turn around.
Please.
Turn around.
Please. I mean, they lose. Again, this is the main issue, is that they've lost. Excellence are winning these fights, only losing 1 member, but the 1 member is always Welshbeastq, and he's their main tower damage. They don't really have tower damage coming out from any other of their members, so they're a little bit worried. If the Jing can find a knock up into a crit. I mean, just look at that. Farleez absolutely shredded, and so they did want to play it safe, but the issue is they're having trouble even getting this Fire Giant.
He's almost their only damage, doing double the damage that Agni's been able to provide. CRYSIS gonna get rooted out, stunned out, and then taken out. Predators getting credit for the kill once again.
This should be the free Fire Giant here. I mean, Stunwave is gonna try and stop it, and they don't have Wrath, but it's not going to be easy for him. He's really looking for a route, into a Fire Giant pool or something, just trying to come in here, and there's just not enough damage without that.
They're doing absolutely nothing to that Fire Giant. Instead, they're going to turn onto Stunwave. So many abilities being used. He's going to be able to kick out of the stun coming out from Xbalanque's ultimate, get back to safety with the rest of his team.
And now, 50-meter fly, doing the Fire Giant by himself. Still holding the aggro, getting those basic attacks in. And here's the rest of the team coming up. And Welshbeastq has made his return. TPC and Mayo around the corner. They do have the raw snipe, I think, looking to try and set up a steal right now, but Turtle's recognized it. Drops a ward right on that corner here. TPC around the corner. Turtle just zoning out Mayo.
Welshbeastq doing what he can to take down this Fire Giant. They're finally starting to see some numbers, and Tim and MCDZ going to be able to steal it. Welshbeastq going to punish Awilix for that. TPC is gone.
Straight in there.
He just jumped in and took it. The zoning was absolutely not there.
This is huge, though. They've picked up 2 kills, and now they're 5 members strong. And they still have Welshbeastq alive, so they could actually siege this right now.
They can probably end it.
4 seconds for CRYSIS to spawn. He's going to be up to defend this, but it's just Gibson and Stunwave, the only ones with the Fire Giant. And right now, Welshbeastq is doing enough damage to probably shred through them regardless of that.
Nice 2-man taunt into the Agni bombs, into the CC for days, and now CRYSIS forced to jump away. Stunwave a little bit better when it comes to the HP, but this Phoenix trying to fall. It's about at half.
Good bomb
and at this
there.
point, we're not really seeing any defense coming out from MCDZ just because they don't want to lose any more of their members.
Honestly, if Excellence can get one more pick here, they can end this game, but no one from MCDZ's is sticking their head out. 50-meter fly, still looking for it. CRYSIS has both his relics available, and there it is. They're looking for the end. They're tired of this game.
I can understand that. The Titan, however, not tired quite yet. Going to be able to dish out some damage, and Gibbon able to take out Welshbeastq, which means almost the entirety of the damage being pumped out by Excellence is gone.
And now they're going to have to back up once again. Just Welshbeastq getting picked off there. Unfortunate for him. In the back line, though, Turtle getting a little bit low. Needs to be careful. Finds the stun. Excuse me, that was Farleez. Finds the stun with the Mantle of Discord. Still chasing right now. There's 3 members very low for Excellence, but again, one of those is Predators, has that Monolith, but very low mana. Nice root finds Farleez.
Stun wave trying to find it. The nice jump coming through and able to take out Farleez, but that does leave Turtle able to dash away. MCDZ chasing down the mid lane, barreling down the mid lane, trying to take Excellence as their prize.
They have the Raw on the right-hand side, just trying to push those fire waves away from the base, and this is going to allow the rest of the team to kind of siege forward. This is a weakened Phoenix. It's going to die relatively quickly, and a 2-man knockup as well, and CRYSIS has taken out 50-meter fly. Turtle very low, and it's just him and Predators left to stop MCDZ right now.
This may be end. MCDZ, they're in position. They have enough damage to take out this Titan. We're going to see the nice taunt coming through, and the heal coming out from Terra is ticking away at their health. But the Titan still only at about half HP. They're looking for it. Raw ultimate not going to be, a little bit off the mark. Titan is down to 3%, and MCDZ able to take the first game.
16 to 29 in kills. The team with 16 winning that game. Just great play objectively, I think, throughout the game. The last fights, the last couple team fights and, the last 30 minutes, a little bit of overextension from TPC and stun wave there kind of allowed Excellence to hang on and hang on and hang on and hang on. But then finally, Excellence, not sure what happened with Welshbeastq there, but doesn't have any of his relics up, just too far forward and does get picked off. And so Excellence kind of just wiped going for the end, and that allows MCDZ to charge in, and we might see an upset here. They're up 1 game right now.
We may see it's a best of 3 coming through. When about 20 minutes in, I said, yeah, Welshbeastq, he's kind of the ticket until we have Agni hit level 20, but I didn't realize it was going to be for the entirety of that almost hour game.
It took a while, and we still have at least 1 more game coming up here, and Welshbeastq just, being a beast, right? Being a Welsh beast. You could see just his positioning in fights is so good, really playing around Farleez and just sitting at that angle where he can kind of choose which part of these team fights he wants to go on, focusing on their tower at first on the couple low members overextended, then sees that Turtle's doing a good job of, keeping stun wave busy there on the left, and then just switches targets onto there and finds a couple kills.
I wonder if his back hurts.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised, but we're going to